Yo, what's up guys? Chase the Bug here, coming to you today with an Elden Ring bug video. This is my level 69 bug Invader. He's currently called the Insect Apostle. I have this build at quite a few different levels, but a majority of the clips that we're going to be looking at today are from my level 69 build. We're double source stealing it, and we're using the Godrick's Great Rune to kind of twink the heck out and have way more stats than I should at this level. I don't feel too bad about it. We're on Seamless. People are cheating all of the time. People are giving themselves items. People are doing this and that. We can get into the ethics of giving yourself a bunch of craftables and consumables another time. This is just a showcase of the build. I love using consumables. I use them kind of like, what's the word? Synonymously with spells, and we'll kind of just get right into some examples here. So starting off, using the big old rotten butterfly spell. You gotta love it. It's pink, it's spinny. It just makes you look like a little girly pop queen, and it does Scarlet Rot buildup. What more could you ask for? I try to keep most of the spells on this build somehow kind of related to pestilence, or is pestilence the right word? Pestiness? Who the fuck? Anyways, we're using bug spells. We're using bug spells on the build, and we're using bug items, and we're also using bug weapons. So we've got the Pull Blade of the Bud here with Romina's Purification, Ash of War, which really incredible after the hyper armor buff that they gave it. I can just fully eat colossal hits with this thing, which is awesome if you're an invader, even though it's not doing a lot of damage. You'll see a couple of clips later in my invasions where I'll just use it as a movement tool, because it scares people. You're jumping up in the air, doing some swirly spinny attack that a lot of the people at low level haven't seen or aren't used to, at least. I don't know a lot of people that run this weapon, just because it's not super good. It's got really weird stat requirements. It wants you to have a lot of dex, which is another reason that I'm double source healing it. Like, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I guess, to try and push the stats on this build. I love low level invasions because I can have these weird, messy, like split stat builds and kind of goof around. And on Seamless, with the Godrick's Great Rune, like, I don't feel like I'm getting too hardcore punished for it, and I'm not running into over level phantoms that are messing my whole game up. So it just feels a little bit better to run these invasions not at meta level. I feel at meta level I actually get punished a little bit more for having split stat builds, just because everyone is like so fully optimized into whatever their build is at that point that I feel like I'm like getting left behind on damage, whereas when I'm just like twinked the heck out but my stats are split, I feel like it's a little bit more fair of a fight. Like, they're doing pretty much double damage to me. I have like negative damage negations at some points, but I'm also just doing regular damage to them. And since they usually aren't leveling vigor and I am, it just works out to be even. It works out to be even, but I have a cool moveset that I know how to use. So that's what gets me the wins. So a nice little backstab into hard swap there, and you can see that sometimes I'll do some visual modifications on my weapons. It was hard to catch there because I used it so fast, but that was actually the stick that the Wormface characters carry around. The Wormface guys that are, the Death Blight vomiters. But I figured, they've got worms in their face. That's a bug. I'll use that on the bug build. I think I only have a couple of visually modified weapons on this build. Once I started doing Seamless invasions and I realized that, you could play invasions with like extra cool armor and extra cool weapons, oof. It kicked off a whole era. and you guys will see that probably in some future uploads. I've done a Revenant build that I've gotten quite a few good gamer clips on. If you guys are familiar with my Reddit content, then you've seen I've uploaded pretty much the full video that I would upload. It's just in tiny parts because Reddit attention span and all that. No offense to Redditors, it's just no one wants to watch a 15-minute video on Reddit. Anyways, yapping. That guy pulled out Bloody Slash, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull out Bloody Slash because you know how it is. Gotta ego the guy. And just pay attention to how often people are just standing in the roped fly pots. They love to just stand in stuff. I talked about it in my last video, PvE gamers. They just love to stand in something that they're not supposed to. They'll be doing damage, but they don't care. They just want to do damage, so they're gonna stand in it. And that works to my advantage greatly for this build. This build has a lot of stuff that you just don't want to stand in. The kind of the after effect of the pull blade, the after effect of the butterflies, the after effect of the Melania Rot Flower spell, whatever the heck it's called. And yeah, it's just a huge build of don't stand in it. So this guy will learn. This guy will learn that you can't parry jump attacks, and if you just are gonna mash parry, I'm gonna recognize that, and I'm gonna do stuff to not get parried. So jump attack, little delayed, little dead angle, and at this point he just gives up, and I miss. Could have been a clean clip, but I missed there. So this fight, it wasn't too interesting. I was, I wanted to fight these guys because they had obviously cleared out the whole area and wanted to have a fun little 2v1 arena time. I'm cool with that. I love doing 2v1 with this build. This build actually is not as exciting when you're doing just a 1v1. You can set up some cool combos still, but it's a little bit more dependent on two people that are just, being aggressive and chasing you down. It really thrives if I'm, on the back foot. It's a I'm on the back foot a lot kind of build. And that's okay. That's a interesting, fun playstyle. It's just, a lot of people, when you get down to a 1v1, they're on the back foot. They're like, I'm gonna run away, I'm gonna play passive, I don't wanna die, it's a 1v1, I don't really know how to engage in a 1v1. And that's when I kind of will just start, throwing random spells out. Seeing what combos into what. If you're just gonna run around, sure, I'll spam you with some stuff. Here, have some bugs. Here, have some more. I'm gonna flask up over here, and then guess what? Even more bugs coming at you. I want to talk a little bit about using one spell into another spell. I think that there's some spells in this game that are just simply not meant to be used out of neutral, and there's some spells that are not really meant to hit your opponent at all. Specifically, one thing that comes to mind is maybe Rykard's Rancor is a one that people would understand easily. I like to think of that as just a zoning tool. It's like a hey, don't go over there tool. It's not. Its utility is to make someone move somewhere that they don't want to move. And for me, Pest Threads is kind of serving that purpose. Pest Threads is telling you, hey, don't roll any direction except towards me. Because if you have good latency and you roll to the side or you roll away from Pest Threads, you'll take chip damage. Tip chamage. Usually people, they get hit once rolling to the side, and maybe they get hit a second time rolling away, and then they learn, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna roll in. And once they learn, once they look like they've learned, that's when I'll hit them with the Pest Threads into the Ansbach spell. And that's where that spell really shines, the Furious Blade of Ansbach. And I'll just call it the Furious Blade from now because I don't like saying the full name. But the spell's great. It's just it's really not good out of neutral. Some people will like really underestimate the range of it, which, you know, excellent for me. I love that. And they'll just get hit by it, but a lot of the times if you're trying to hit it, like, you want someone to already be rolling from something else, and that's what I love pest threads for. It's like slow enough that I can already be queuing up another cast by the time it's like, well, by the time it's not even hit, you know, hit the guy. So he's still rolling the pest threads. I'm halfway through casting the Ansbach spell. He's rolling straight into me. I'd triple slash him with some blood stuff. Maybe he gets hit by a little bit of the pest threads. Bingo bango. You're done. That's like a good like 900 damage combo usually. And seamless gamers tend to not have a whole lot of health, it seems. At least not at this level. I do, you know, I do have a level 150, and I even have a level 200 version of this build to play meta, but it's just, I don't know, it's just not interesting to me. That sort of play style where it's just like, all right, dodge the bullets, you better run sideways. And you can see this guy here, he's like, you better run sideways. I've got a bow now. You killed my friend and I'm gonna shoot you. But he's gotta run sideways. And he does. He tries. Bone Bill, a little bit scummy, but you know, who cares? This one, this invasion is just a great example of how good the fly pots are. I think that one of the places this build struggles a little bit is against, like, you know, two people that are running you down and like trying to blunder you. It doesn't have a whole lot of good hyper armor options, especially when someone's swinging a colossal. Stormcaller is, you know, it's all right, but someone can usually swing a colossal straight through that. So, and just the pull blade, it doesn't do enough damage to really be worth it. So the strategy here instead is to, you know, be smart about dodges. Let's not try to trade anything, and let's see if we can get them to stand in the roped fly pot. So a lot of the times I'll throw the roped fly pot and then I'll try to dodge into them, because what that's going to do generally is kind of turn their character to attack into the fly pot that I just dropped while I was running away. And that works for me here, like, I don't even know how many times, quite a few times. They're chasing me down, I throw the fly pot, they see a little animation, and that makes them decide that they're gonna, you know, throw out their attack, or, you know, do whatever that locks them into an animation, and boom, you're standing in my bugs, and then boom, you know, you're dead. So it'll happen to this guy right here in 3, 2, 1, and just he's off frame, but you know, exploded from the bugs. Happens to the best of us. Catch a little teabag. And now that it's a 1v1, this guy's gonna, you know, get all passive, and I don't know what the logic is here. I wonder if he thinks that since normally in just the PvE world, oh, I can't swing my weapon in Volcano Manor, so if I run in here, he won't be able to swing his weapon either. Not how it works. You can still swing your weapon, and so can I, because guess what? You just got invaded. PvP's on, buddy. But he's poisoned now, and at this point, I'm like, okay, like, you either heal and I smack you, or you just, like, you know, roll around and die. So pre-teabagging the death, just to, you know, aura farm, as the kids would call it. I threw the aspects of the Crucible tail on this build because I guess my logic was that scorpions have big tails with barbs. I know that it's a little bit more of a lizard looking tail, but this clip's really about the Sprite Stone right here. Sprite Stone into the wall, like, it's just so, like, critically underrated. Did you see that? Did you see that? Sprite Stone into the wall. You know what? Sprite Stone cast up into the ladder. You got two ladder campers. They think they got the advantage on you. I'm gonna wait at the top and swing at him. No, the fuck you're not. Sit down. They just blast them away. Like, you know, you can cast oh, what's it called? The glint blade phalanx. You can cast that. You can climb to the top, you know, maybe do like 200 damage. Or you can free aim a Sprite Stone and do a little geometry, a little bit of Pythagorean theorem, and you can meet that Sprite Stone up at the top, and you can just kerplode them away. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. This invasion, not the most interesting, but I just want to say how much I love the Poison Flower Blooms Twice. One of those other ones that's kind of, it's slept on. It's definitely something that, you know, a smart person would kind of use after you hit someone with something else, right? So jumping R2 into that guy thought he rolled away far enough to do a heal or something, or maybe didn't think to double roll or something. I don't know. I love gamers when they don't double roll. Nothing special here, just to, you know, throw the fly pot down. Fly pot is a wake up just to kind of get someone to roll away. I really like. I'm a big fan of fly pot as a wake up. Strafing Colossal Swords, I'm also a fan. Let's see another fly pot as a wake up. And then, you know, it just gets him running away, thinking he's out of range. No. And I guess, you know what? Let's look at some more backstabs. I think right here, this guy, you know, I was not expecting a mash out of backstab wake up. Listen. I know I saw it, you saw it, everyone saw the point down. I'm not toxic, it's just this guy, like, you know, this was the end of the invasion. It was the end of a real boring invasion. So you guys didn't see the context, but that guy he deserved it, trust me. This is a classic, you know, point the Sprite Stone right into the ground. Also check out the fashion here. That's some peak Bug and Drawer fashion if I ever seen it. Sometimes, you know, seamless, if I'm feeling a little bit like I want to meme it up, I'll summon a bug. It's the bug build. Right here we've got some level 150 invasions. I wanted to, you know, prove to you guys I could do it. Here it is. This is what a majority of 150 invasions are like. This is why I don't like doing them. Hello, I've spawned into the boss room. Oh, it's a guy with blind spot? I'm just like, no thank you, dude. Come on, I'm getting bled, I'm getting blind spotted. Those guys were not about to go fight Messmer, they were just sitting there waiting. Waiting for me. And this guy's lucky. He rolls all of my good stuff, but it's okay. We get him eventually. Anyways, at least at 150, like, I can wear the cool bug helmet, you know, and not feel like I'm punishing myself too hard because I'm also wearing, you know, 2 Source Seals that have screwed my health up. So, you know, we love to punish ourselves a little bit by wearing something cool that makes us take more damage. So I've got to keep with the trend. That's part of the build, is you have to wear something that makes you take more damage, but also, like, lets you do cool stuff. Not that the bug helmet really lets me do anything cool. It saves me a little bit of FP on my incantation casts, but, you know, good enough. Always stab the AFK gamer in the back when you get the chance. That's rule number 1 of seamless invasions. You spawn in, 2 people are AFK, just stab one of them in the back. You know, man, like, they were gonna gank you. It's not worth it. Not worth it to be nice, respectable gamer. I don't care what the Redditors say. Get stabbed in the back. Shouldn't have been AFK. Shouldn't have been AFK with multiplayer on. Your friend should have been there to protect you. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, I guess we're getting to the end of the video, and I don't know what the moral of the story is. Don't sleep on the roped fly pots is the moral of the story. Don't sleep on Faith Arcane. Faith Arcane, pretty good. Backstab's pretty good. And I think this is just a little compilation of some fun 1v1 clips for the rest of the video here. So, anyways, well, thank you guys for staying around. If people have more questions about the build or anything, feel free to comment. If you have suggestions or anything, feel free to comment. I know I get a lot of people suggesting that I use the the big ant shield. But I don't know, it just doesn't really fit on this build with the amount of like stats that are already required. So I've got my little scorpion kite shield, and that's good enough for me. Maybe on the 150 version of this video, if I decide to ever do a meta level bug invader video, I'll throw the ant head shield on there. Sorry, this guy just getting absolutely just fingered to death. So funny. You can just tell that this guy wants to do L2. So there you go. Bye-bye. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Muchly appreciated. I love playing this build. I wish that it was a little bit more viable, but it's fun. It's really, you know, cinematic when you get the clips, and it's a great time. So thanks for sticking around, and tune in next time for some other weird thematic split stat bullshit invasion build. GG.